Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm Moxie for and this is my battle for Week 2 of Season 2 of the CPC D-league. This week I'm going up against Flame Dog 3, not Flame Doge, and his Venice Victinis. So, last week, if you did not check out that battle, I will hopefully leave a link to it down below. I played Napi and his Brooklyn Bayonets. It was a really close game, so definitely check that one out. But if you don't want spoilers, then check it out now. But if you don't really care about spoilers, I did win that game in a 2-0. So that was cool. It was a good game. My Mega Houndoom ended up picking up like 2 kills. My Scizor picked up, I think, 2 as well. Was it? Yeah, my Scarf Scizor picked up 2 kills, and my Mega Houndoom picked up 2 as well. So it was a good game for them, and it was a fun team. And so far, at least from the first 2 weeks of building and battling, I'm really liking my team though. It's a fun team. But let's get into my opponent's team this week. So not in the order he drafted, but his team is the Victini, Mega Gyarados, Donphan, Magnezone, Hawlucha, Gengar, Hydreigon, Sylveon, Cradily, and Murkrow. His Z users are Victini, which is his Super Z user, and his other Z user, which is offensive, is Cradily, just because he has to pick one that's under 10 points, and he only has Murkrow and Cradily under 10, so, you know, that makes sense why he picked Cradily there, because Murkrow he's probably running Eviolite anyways, but that's still kind of funny. So, these are the main 6 I'm expecting. This isn't the order that he drafted them, but this is just what I'm expecting. So, this guy right here can run a Z Crystal, could be Scarfed, or even maybe Specs, or like Banded, but I'm expecting more of a Scarf or Z Crystal, because this thing cannot be a Scarfed Lando if I want to bring that. Gyarados is a scary Mega. It's got a good dual typing, and barring Feeny is actually really scary, at least offensively. Feeny's a decent check to it, but I'm not really running a defensive Feeny, as we'll see in a bit. It's got good coverage, and Dragon Dance is spooky. Donphan's pretty fat and can take a hit from Lando, and does get Ice Shard, so if it can come in on Lando, or like come in after Lando's already in, so it's not -1, it can check him with Ice Shard, which is a little scary. Magnezone is a pretty nice check to Feeny, and one of his only switch-ins, because outside of the Magnezone and Cradily, he really does not have a good switch-in to Feeny, which is nice for me. Hawlucha is really scary because it can get Speed Boost and like Sword Stance, and it can be a tremendous threat this game, and it outspeeds my whole team naturally, so it is quite spooky. Gengar also spooky, but I can at least outspeed that with my Mega Houndoom, which is nice for me. And I do have, actually, I was going to say I have a decent switch-in, but I don't think I really have a good switch-in to that. I mean, naturally my switch-in, my best switch-in is probably like Dragology, but that thing can run Psychic, and it gets pretty good coverage to everything else. But he does have a little bit of trouble with his coverage, to be fair, because like he'll want to run Sludge Bomb for Feeny and like Celebi. Then he can run possibly Focus Blast for Steelix, then like probably Shadow Ball for like Wild Fed, or I mean, yeah, he'll want Shadow Ball for my Ghost type and my Psychic, and then like Psychic for yeah, he wants Psychic then, and yeah, maybe Focus Blast as I said. And he might want in Power Fire too for Scizor, or maybe Icy Wind for Lando too. So he does need a lot of coverage there. So. And he can't fit all of it. He can only fit 4 coverage moves, so it'll be tough to see what he's going to pick there. Then the last 4 Mons, I'm not really expecting, not to say any of these, but at least Murkrow and Cradily, I'm not totally expecting. Murkrow could be a nice support Mon, but I feel like he's better Mons to bring. Cradily could be a nice switch into Feeny, so I could see coming in that, or for that purpose. Sylveon is okay. It's a nice switch into my Mega Houndoom, which he does have trouble switching into Mega Houndoom, and Hydreigon also can be. But both of those Mons have some trouble with my team. And like for Sylveon, I have 2 Steel types and a Poison type that can deal with it decently well, as well as Lando that can pressure it. And I feel like Sylveon does not have the best matchup. And I can also like check the Hariyama check the Hydreigon with my Hariyama, or even sort of Steelix to an extent, or like Scarf Lando if he's not Scarfed, or even Feeny is a really nice check too. So even though on the surface my Houndoom does not look super great in this game, I think actually really looking at the matchup and what I think is likely for him to bring, his switch-ins and checks are really limited. Like, out of these 6, which are the 6 I expect, his only switch-in or check is Gyarados. Now he could bring one of these 2. I think that there's a pretty good chance he brings one of these 2 instead of something on this team. But still, I can pressure his switch-in to Houndoom, and then once they're gone or weakened, Houndoom can either tear through, or if Houndoom can pressure his checks to some other things on my team, then some other Mons on my team could look very good late game too. So first off, we got my Hariyama holding the vest here. So it's got 4 attacks, close combat, take out, heavy slam, bullet punch. So kind of weird that I'm carrying dual bullet or dual steel coverage. But heavy slam is really nice because it allows me to hit Sylveon, which I don't totally expect again. but it can allow me to weaken that thing for my Houndoom, which is really key. And it also allows me to hit Gengar for decent damage. I kind of run knockoff, maybe Earthquake, but Heavy Slam's nice for Sylveon. Outside of that, I can't really hit Sylveon for a whole lot, and he might not think about Heavy Slam, so he could try to go into Sylveon on Hariyama, which otherwise can't really hit it super hard. I think it gets Poison Drive actually. It does, but I mean Heavy Slam does more. I think it's base 120 power, so that's nice. And then I mean Heavy Slam plus Bullet Punch I think knocks out Gengar anyway, so I don't really need knockoff. So, or if it doesn't, I think after rocks it does for sure. After like a Life Orb hit. So you know I don't really need knockoff in that sense there. And then Fake Out is nice on top of Bullet Punches. That allows me to check some of his fast mons like Victini or like the Hawlucha, which could be scary if it gets some speed boosts and can check can potentially sweep my team. But if I can get some damage on that and not allow it to set up for free, then I can at least bring in Hariyama and Fake Out plus Bullet Punch should be able to kill. If not, I can keep pivoting to where Fake Out plus BP does kill. So that's really nice. This thing allows me to check Hydreigon pretty well. I think the Spadef is so I can live. I think 2 specs Dracos from my Hydreigon, I want to say. I think it's that from a Timid Hydreigon, I believe. So that's really nice. Then the speed is just to creep Sylveon, and then the rest in my my attack here. So then we got my Scarf Type of Fini this game. So this thing is really nice because his team just doesn't have great switch into Fini. He has like Magnezone, which is a pretty good one, but I can weaken that thing down and then pressure it with my ground types and Hariyama too, and even my Houndoom. So I can definitely pressure the Magnezone, and then he could also bring Cradily, but again, that thing's pressured. I have Hariyama, Houndoom, Lando, Scizor, Steelix to an extent too. So you know, these checks to Fini don't have the best matchup either, and I can pressure them and get them low or dead, which is really nice. Because outside of that, Fairy's pretty spammable versus his team. His only real check to Fairy is like Victini, which if I can get at rocks, I can chip that thing down. And I can actually that pairs really well with my Mega Houndoom because you'll see in a sec. Because his main things to take a Moonblast are Victini, Gengar, and Magnezone, all of which my Mega Houndoom actually takes on pretty well. So that's really nice for me. And then outside of that, Moonblast is just really good for the rest of his team. And then even Sylveon, which can take Moonblast, still have my Steel types, and I have Lando to pressure that as well. So that's really cool. The speed is just so I can outspeed Max Speed Adamant Mega Gyarados. I would have crept Jolly, but I just don't think he'll be Jolly. I don't think he has a reason to. If he wants to creep the next fastest thing on my team, which would be Scizor, he does not need to be Jolly to do so. So I think I'm creeping that, or maybe just Max Speed Adamant. I think I'm creeping just Max Speed Adamant. But yeah, I don't think he needs to be Jolly then. A bit of defense so I can live like a +2 no item acrobatics from Hawlucha after I take rocks, I think. Or maybe maybe just from full. But that's just in case if that happens and I need to check to that. Next we got my Steelix, so also holding a vest here, so 2 vested Mons, so Hariyama and Steelix to take his special attackers. As he's got kind of a lot, not a lot, but at least his main Mons that hit hard for the most part are hit on the special side, barring Victini, which can hit on the special side too. But mainly like Hydreigon, Gengar, Sylveon, Magnezone, I want checks to those Mons, as that can allow my Fini and Houndoom to do well late game. So EQ allows me to hit stuff hard and Heavy Slam too. I can go boom on a lot of stuff like Gyarados if it thinks it can set up on me. I can still do a lot of damage to that, which is really nice. And then check it with my Scarfini, even if he's at +1. Then Dragon Tail is nice because if he wants to switch into like Donphan on this, especially if rocks are up, I can chip that thing down, Dragon Tail, and it's pretty nice. Or if he wants to switch into anything else, Dragon Tail is just nice for chip damage. And I didn't really need anything in that last slot, so I figured that'd be a cool tech, and I can't run Roar because because I have my vest, and the Dragon Tail is kind of better in general. The Spadef is so I can live, I think, 2 Earth Powers from Hydreigon or something. I think it was Hydreigon. Yeah, I think that was the investment, and the rest in attack and Adamant there. So next we got my Lando. This is a pretty weird set, but pretty cool one. So Z Fly with EQ, Rocks, and Superpower. So the speed is for Gyarados, I think. Is it the same as Fini? I think it's if Gyarados is like creeping max speed Jolly Scizor, I think. So that's what the speed's for. The Spadef and HP is, I think, so I can live an Icy Wind from Gengar after I take rocks if he's not a boosting item, I believe. Which also allows me to live Glaciate from most Victini variants. I think Life Orb's a roll, I want to say, and Specs would definitely kill me, but I don't think he'll be either Life Orb or Specs, if I'm being honest, so I feel like this is pretty safe. And this will be my lead, so I can get a Rocks turn 1 versus almost anything, because I can live almost any hit on his team. Not every hit, because, you know, he could knock me out with like a Life Orb Teeny or Specs Teeny, but I don't expect that. I think he'll be Z Crystal, and I don't think he'll want to blow it turn 1. I could be wrong on that, but I think it depends on his investment. I can still maybe live with Z Glaciate, because I don't think that's super powerful. And then I can also just live most hits on this team, get up rocks, which is really nice. Now we can't spend with Donphan, but I can still pressure that and maybe get up rocks again, which is really nice. And then Z-Fly just hits like everything and does a lot of damage to almost everything. So yeah, next we got my Mega Houndoom here. So Flamethrower, Dark Pulse, Pursuit, and Hidden Power Bug. Hidden Power Bug's just coverage to Hydreigon and Gyarados, and I figured why not, because I wanted some kind of Hidden Power to hit them, and I felt like it's the best. I mean, Hidden Power Fighting could have worked too, but didn't really matter. So I can trap things like Victini and Gengar, which are really nice, because those are the main checks to, or at least checks to Feeney's Moonblast. They're not great checks in general, but if you know some Scarfed and locked into Moonblast, then they can be checks to Feeney. And and if I can bring this thing in on either of them, I can just trap it and Pursuit and potentially knock out Gengar. It doesn't do quite as much to Victini, but I can still get good damage on that. And if I have rocks up, then that thing will get very weakened, and then it'll be in range of Feeney's Moonblast, which is very nice. No speed for Gengar there, which is nice. So next we got my defensive Scizor. So just kind of standard defensive, you know, got your Dual Stab, Roost, and then I have Toxic. I do have Defog on Feeney, by the way, and then Hidden Power Ground for Magnezone. Didn't mention that earlier. So I don't really need Defog on Scizor. I'm not really expecting to use Defog on Feeney, but if I need to, then I can. Rocks are going to be hurting him more than they're hurting me, most likely, so I probably don't want to Defog, but if I'm in a scenario where I need it, you know, why not? And I don't really need another move for Feeney. So Toxic is nice for Donphan. I could have carried something to hit Magnezone, like Superpower, but I just want to U-turn out on that, honestly, and then I can bring in Steelix, which is a pretty nice check, or maybe even Lando, maybe Hariyama too. Maybe even go hard into Mega Houndoom too. No speed for a Magnezone of sorts, I think, or like I think for like max speed modest Magnezone. No, I need more speed for that. Like if that's creeping like Hariyama, I think, and I'm creeping that, I think, then the rest in defense and HP, so I can take this pretty well for Mega Gyarados and then U-turn and get the chip on that. And Toxic is nice to help me weaken the Donphan and pressure that, and the Sylveon too. So I can just pressure things and weaken them down with this, and this is pretty nice. It's mainly like a defensive mon that can heal, but I do some nice bulky pivots, and my two fast mons and Hariyama and Steelix, and then Lando's a pretty nice pivot too with the Intimidate ability. And then Defini is just still kind of bulky, even though it's offensive, it's still naturally bulky. And Houndoom can be like probably switch into something once or twice, as it can be a nice offensive switch and pressure his team a lot. So that's the team there. Hopefully you guys like it, and I'm gonna get into the battle in just a second. Alright guys, so I'm back with the battle, as you can see here. So I'm bringing these 6 I just went over: Hariyama, Tapu Fini, Steelix, Lando, Team Mega Houndoom, and Scizor, while Flame Dog 3, not Doge, brings the Gengar, Donphan, Victini, Mega Gyarados, Hawlucha, and Hydreigon. So mainly what I expect, he had 5 out of the 6 that I had. He just opted to bring the Hydreigon over Magnezone, which was kind of good, kind of bad. It really means my Fini is just a huge threat, as his checks to Fini and switch-ins are really not there. He doesn't have a safe switch into my Dual Stab like at all. As actually barring Gengar, which isn't bulky really much at all, he does not have a mon that is not weak to one of my Dual Stabs. One of my Dual Stabs. It's Fairy, Water, and then still Surf does a lot anyway, so that's really nice. My Mega Houndoom isn't quite as amazing just because he does have Hydreigon, which could be switching or even the Gyarados, but if I can get rocks up and Gyarados is still in the normal Gyarados form, then it's really not a good switch, and I can Dark Pulse on the switch, and if he takes rocks and then a Dark Pulse, and then a Hidden Power Bug the following turn, it's really not a safe switch in, so that is pretty good for me. So my plan is just lead Lando. I can live pretty much any hit on his team that I'm expecting, at least from turn 1, so I should be able to get at my rocks. He does lead Teeny, which is a little scary, as he could click Glaciate, or Glaciate, however you say it, but he just clicks U-turn, which is fine. So if I'm in damage, I can actually scout and see that he's banded, which is kind of funny because he did so little, but I calc that, and it's important to calc everything because of that. I know he's banded, which does actually come into play later, so I just get on my rocks turn 1. Now he does go into Donphan expecting the rock, so he can just spin this turn, which is a little annoying, but that's fine. I can just go right into my Rocky Helmet Scizor, and he's going to actually take more from my helmet than I take from that spin, which is kind of funny. We see that he's lefties, and also based on the rapid spin damage, I can see that he is defensive and probably just max defensive here. So I'm just going to go for a Toxic. He could go into potentially Gengar, but I feel like Toxic is still a safe play, as I can probably just Toxic this thing as. He might try to get a Broxer. He could have Fire Fang, but I can live one Fire Fang. He might just get off some damage with Earthquake. Probably just Fire Fang or Roxer, as he does just go right for Stealth Rock. So that's, not a huge deal. I don't love them being up, but that's okay. So here, I just click U-turn, as it's a pretty safe play. If he stays in, I can go right into Lando, which can take anything that he would go for against Scizor, as he does switch into Gengar, which is totally fine with me, as it does a little bit. Looks like he's actually kind of bulky based on that damage, but either way, I'm just going to bring in my Mega Houndoom, and I'm going to click Pursuit. Now, he could have been Scarfed and potentially hit me with the Focus Blast here, and that would have been bad, but, well, one, he would have had a chance to miss, I guess, but two, I would have known that he's Scarfed and guaranteed, and also, I could have potentially had Sucker Punch too, and I don't know, I wasn't totally expecting Scarf Gengar. I mean, it made some sense, actually, but I could carry Sucker Punch, which I thought about. And if I know that he's Scarf, I can just go right into my Feeny and then pressure his team a lot. So, or maybe, probably Feeny, but still, or Lando even. And Scarf Gengar, as long as I can keep something healthy enough, it's not the worst thing in the world. But thankfully, he's not Scarfed, and he does try to switch as I Pursuit, and I actually knock him out. I didn't totally expect to knock him out just because I thought he was kind of bulky based on the damage from Scizor, but I think I maybe got a kind of high roll, or he wasn't as bulky as I thought. But either way, even if I didn't kill, then he would still be really low and either in range of rocks or in range of a Moonblast from Feeny, which is fine. And we know he's not Scarfed. Well, assuming that, I mean, if he was Scarfed, I'm assuming he would have stayed in and just click Focus Blast there, but, whatever. So he brings in Hawlucha, which makes sense. So I'm going to go right in my Feeny, as I can take any from this thing, and if he wants to attack me here, I can just Moonblast the following turn and can knock this thing out. This bit's sashed, but probably not. Or if he wants to set up, I can live a hit. Although I can actually just outspeed him if he sets up here, so that's fine. So he does go right for a sub, which is fine, because I'm Scarf, so I can go right for Moonblast, and he knows I'm Scarf now because I had speed, and he goes right for Acro, and I'm assuming he still has he does still have his item. Actually went back to check the battle. I went on another tab just to check the battle to make sure he does have something and he's holding some item, and he is, because I looked back at the start of the battle, because I didn't notice at the very start, but yeah, he was holding some item, so this was not a boosted acrobatics, so I can actually chew that, and then, so I know Moonblast will pressure him there and can potentially knock him out, or will knock him out, but I'm predicting him to actually go right and do his Victini, because he really doesn't have a safe switch outside of that, and he knows I'm Scarfed, so he's probably going to want to switch, because this thing can help him check Mega Houndoom, and it makes a lot of sense for him to keep this thing around, instead of just sacking it off to my Feeny when he can switch in his Victini pretty safely into a Moonblast, because he knows I have to click Moonblast because he knows I'm Scarfed. So I make a pretty ballsy play going into my Mega Houndoom, but it works out as he does go right into Victini. So that worked out, as I said. But I felt like, even though it was a little bit risky, even if I lose Mega Houndoom, that wasn't the worst thing in the world, because I at least already trapped Gengar, and I really did not think he'd be staying in and just sacking off his Hawlucha, when it still could be pretty nice and could potentially be a win con late game too. It made all the sense in the world for him to switch into Victini, so that play worked out, and I'm just going to click Dark Pulse here. I could potentially click Pursuit, but he can live a Dark Pulse, so I'm expecting him to just stay in and take it in either Bolt Strike or U-Turn. Now U-Turn will not knock me out, Bolt Strike will, or maybe something else to knock me out. As he does live the Dark Pulse and does click U-Turn, and I do live that, which is cool. So he's really low though, that's really nice. So either he's in range of rocks if I can get them up, or in a Scarf Phoenix Moonblast, and we know that he's not Scarf because, well, my Mega Houndoom just outspread him there, and also earlier from the damage on Lando, we know he's banded, and from that damage too, I guess. So he brings in Hydreigon. I'm thinking this is Scarf, it's just yelling, I'm Scarfed. But I actually outspeed it. I'm just sacking off Mega Houndoom here, just going to click him our Bug Scout instead of it, get off some damage, as he's actually not Scarf, which is good for me, as that thing then will not outspeed my Feeny. So he clicks Dark Pulse, and down goes Doom, which is unfortunate. It took its first death this season, but it got another kill this game, so it's up to 3 kills and 1 death. So, it already has 3 kills, which is pretty nice. So I'm just going to bring in my Feeny here, as he really doesn't have a good switch in, and I can actually 2-KO or just knock out anything on his team at this point. So he's going to have to lose a Mon at this point. He knows I'm Scarfed. I know he's not Scarfed, because my Doomat's bad, and he's all lefties. And based on the damage from him, that Bug actually looks like he's, I think max Videf, or nearly max. But either way, Moonblast is still knocking him out, so that's nice. So he just goes right into his Down Fan, as Moonblast is going to be able to 2-KO that guy. So I'm just going to click it and keep clicking Moonblast here. So he's going to go right into his Victini right here, but he knows I'm Scarfed. I don't know. He was probably good to go right into Gyarados, because it's the only thing that actually lived in Moonblast at that point. He's played the prior turns probably just to sack off Victini, then bring in Down Fan, so he could live a Moonblast and get off some damage. But, it makes sense. I guess he just didn't fully think through the future turns too much, but I mean that's okay. So I'm just gonna be able to knock out Donovan and then Victini. So in comes Mega Gyarados, so he does have to Mega turn 1. That's a rule in the league. So he does live the Moonblast because that thing's pretty fat, and does click EQ. Shows that he was a max attack and adamant, so I was right, he was not Jolly. And that was not a roll, by the way. I was guaranteed to live that, so he got almost a max roll anyway, so just in case if you guys were curious, not a roll. So I can just keep clicking Moonblast, knock out the Gyarados, and we know that Hydreigon's not Scarf, we know Holy is not Scarf. They're both going to drop to a Moonblast, so I'm actually going to be able to pick up the 5-0 win here in just a second once Holy goes down. So Tapu Fini pulled through, Scarfini got 5 kills. Trev, I hope you're proud of me. He loves Scarfini. So we are now at 2-0 plus 7, looking pretty good so far. I'm really liking this team. It's a lot of fun to build with and to play with. I mean that, it makes sense I'm saying that because I won the first 2 games, and then like if I lose, then I'll be like, oh no, the team sucks, whatever. But at least so far, I'm really enjoying the team. It's fun, it's got speed, it's got power, it's got bulk. I like it. Not too much speed, but I mean, I'm making it work. I like the team. Lando's a cool mon. I didn't bring it last week, but I brought it this week. It was at least able to pressure his team early game and got up rocks for like a hot second, and then they were spun away. And then Lando didn't come back in, but Lando's still cool. Doesn't have any kills. Fini has 6 kills though. Shout out to Tapu Fini. 6 kills so far. No deaths. So that is awesome. We are playing... who are we playing next week? Let me check. We're playing the Minnesota Mimikyu, I believe, right? Yes, we're playing the Minnesota Mimikyu, coached by Shy. So that'll go up next Tuesday. That should probably, hopefully, be a good game. I don't know. He's Mega King, so that's spooky. So I'll see you guys for the battle next week. We're 2-0. Looking good so far. So I'm excited. I'll see you guys then. Peace out.